in Turkey. We will continue, but definitely Middle East and Africa region is going to be the biggest and highest growth area where Hareket will be definitely leading in the highest level possible. We have invested quite significantly and continue to invest, and even enhancing our service portfolio, not only heavy lifting and engineering and heavy transportation, but also on the maritime with bringing in new barges.
Today's episode is brought to you in partnership with SAL, one of the world's leading carriers in the maritime transport of heavy lift and project cargo. SAL operates one of the most advanced fleets in the sector, with service speeds of up to 20 knots, dynamic positioning, fly jib capability, ice-class vessels, vast open deck space, and combined crane capacity reaching 2,000 tons. Together with SAL Intermarine, they operate around 80 multi-purpose and ultra-heavy lift vessels, supported by a global team of more than 1,200 people and 27 offices in 23 countries. Part of the Harron Group, SAL is known for quality, technical innovation, and a strong commitment to safety and environmental performance, including its latest Orca-class new build program, setting new benchmarks for green technologies. And through the JSI Alliance, customers can access a combined fleet of around 90 heavy lift, multi-purpose, and offshore vessels, further strengthening their global capability. Find out more via the link in the description below. It's Project Cargo Professionals. We're back in Dubai for another episode of Voices of Breakbulk Middle East. And today I'm with Mustafa Şener from Hareket. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for taking the time to come in after just getting back from Istanbul last night.
Yes, no, thank you so much for having me.
So, interesting to talk to you. I know you've got a couple of passions, project logistics and fitness. Perhaps we'll get onto that a bit later on. But to start, why don't you tell us a little bit about Hareket?
Yeah, so Hareket is a company already in the entire project engineering industry for over 68 years. It's founded in Turkey. Today, the group CEO is a third generation. So it's a very strong, rooted family business, but grown quite significantly over the last 68 years. To a really global, more and more global, but also regional power company in the whole engineering and project logistics environment, basically.
Okay, and tell us a bit about you. So you told me you've been with the company about a year now, and you live in Dubai.
Yes, I'm over a year now with Hareket. I'm based here out of Dubai, and I'm traveling between Istanbul and Dubai, my most favorite cities in the world. I used to work for a large freight forwarding company, Kühne Nagel, for 24 years. And to my background, I'm originally from Turkey, but I was grown up, school and study in Germany. That's why my German accent, which I couldn't get rid of.
Yeah, we can hear.
And I lived in my career, in my corporate world, in various locations in Europe, in the North America, especially USA, for over 8 years. I lived in the Middle East. First time I was stationed here was 2002. And I've seen also the whole development of this region, of this country. So that's my background. And I'm very happy now to provide my know-how, my knowledge and my experience to Hareket, to support and guide them in the global growth in the coming years.
So I know some of them, but can you tell us about some of the really complex projects that Hareket's handled that really shows off what you can do here in the Middle East?
Yeah, I mean, Hareket is pretty much involved in all the sectors, all the verticals, industries, if you will, when it comes to projects, from the renewable, from industrial projects, from the oil and gas, and also mega industrial projects that are in the urbanization involved. The biggest one that I'm really proud of is the additional value add services with the assembly that we do in the wind industry. So in very complex environments, in very infrastructural, challenging environments on mountains to build up, to transport all the windmills, all the components, and then also building it is something that Hareket is doing outstanding with the engineering components. That is really the key of it. And of course, with the whole heavy lifting and the heavy transportation know-how, knowledge, which makes Hareket really a unique and a very professional service provider in that industry.
And let's talk a little bit about Turkey, an important market in this part of the world. Where do you see Turkey's role in the world, particularly in relation to heavy manufacturing, project cargo?
Well, Turkey has a excellent geographical location, I would say, number one first. It's really building the bridge between East and West, pretty much. And the manufacturing capabilities, the young population we have, the engineering knowledge, the know-how, as well as basically all the infrastructural projects are quite significant. And Turkey is a country which is very resilient. It has a lot of opportunities, at the same time challenges. But Turkey is definitely a country where there is a lot of for the project world in all industries, be it in the renewable, that we see a lot of manufacturing now moving into Turkey as well. Be it onshore, offshore, there's a lot of opportunities that Turkey is delivering that is definitely for the years to come a very positive outlook.
And what are the challenges then of working in Turkey?
Well, the challenges is like in major countries as well. One of which is the inflation, but that makes even Turkey more looking into the opportunities as well, how to be more efficient, how to be more resilient to find solution out of it. That leads every company to be more disciplined in their calculation, in their cost management, as well as in their execution. But other than that, the challenges are likewise in every other country. So Turkey is not any different than other. Just the inflation rate is in the last few years a little bit higher than the other ones, but that is also manageable. And the creativity and the resilience of the country is absolutely outstanding.
But it has become very expensive, isn't it?
I mean, compared to what? That's always
true.
It's always comparing to what?
Portugal?
To Portugal, probably yes. But of course, the size of Portugal and Turkey and the capabilities are way different. But if we just compare Turkey's cost of manufacturing, cost of living, cost of certain activities compared to 5 years ago, yes, it has become more expensive. However, I would also like to mention that the quality, the know-how, the experience is really, really improved as well. And at the end of the day, quality comes with the price as well. So knowing my global know-how, what I've seen in the world and what Turkey is offering right now, I can proudly say that the country has really a leading position when it comes to manufacturing. All the local EPCs, OEMs are really becoming more and more, not only a regional key player, but also becoming more global key players.
It's really interesting perspective, because it sounds like you're not necessarily seeing inflation and the increased costs as a huge problem. You actually think it's almost a positive. It's a natural step as Turkey grows and develops.
Yes, that I would say so. Yes, that is making everyone looking more into getting better and also finding solutions how the whole logistics world can basically improve. Absolutely.
And you're an asset-based company. What are the gaps in Turkey in terms of the specialized equipment for heavy lift and project cargo? Are there gaps in supply or?
Well, I would say currently the supply and demand is quite balanced. It always depends, of course, on the projects and sometimes the amount of projects and the equipments. That is pretty much sometimes a little bit out of balance. But overall, if I say from a heavy lifting crane perspective, the country is well equipped, and also with the whole SPMTs and the heavy transportation equipment, there's plenty of supply available in the market.
And you guys have got a very strong brand in Turkish Airlines, flies to more countries or more destinations, I forget, than any other. Does that benefit Hareket in some way? Is there work for you in the aviation sector?
Well, absolutely. I mean, Turkish Airlines has become one of the global leading airlines. The service quality, the network that they have enhanced is simply outstanding. But also not on the passenger side, also from the cargo side, the capabilities that they have enhanced is definitely something that helps the project logistics world as well. And Istanbul being a perfect location and a hub, like I mentioned, between East and West. So the whole project and logistics corridor Turkiye has become, with Turkish Airlines, a major player, and more to come. It's also like the infrastructure that is coming around it, and all the buildings and the projects that are coming with the expansion of the airport, of the distribution centers, the warehouses, and so forth. So it's a major positive impact that Turkish Airlines is growing, and we are happy to see it.
And moving beyond Turkey, Turkey economically, diplomatically has been focusing a lot on Africa. Is that the same for Hareket?
Yes, absolutely. Africa has become, for all our Turkish-based clients, a major growth area. And Hareket, being the customer-centric provider, of course, we are going with our customers and providing our services, whatever we have done in Turkey, also in the African countries. And yes, there's definitely a major opportunity for our Turkish customers, EPCs and providers that are going into the power, energy, logistics, energy projects, infrastructure. Mining is a big topic in the African region. So these are areas where we see definitely growth. And we have done a number of projects within the African region and continent.
And what about CIS?
Well, CIS is definitely a very close, also from a cultural perspective, to Turkey. And we have been for many, many years in the CIS countries, and looking at the opportunities now that the countries such as Kazakhstan, such as Uzbekistan, are going into modernizing their infrastructure, modernizing their energy and the power, what they are producing, be it in the oil and gas, be it in the renewable side. It is definitely a very high potential country. We have our entities, we have our assets, we have our company well established for the upcoming major projects, which is definitely a very positive development that we want to be part of this as Hareket.
So I think you share language as well, don't you? A lot of those countries speak Turkish?
Similarities, yes. Azerbaijan is very similar. Yes, there's a lot of similar words, if you will, that is definitely helping us.
Hi, it's Aya Saeed here from Breakbulk. Thanks for checking out Voices of Breakbulk Middle East, our collaboration with PCP to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the event. For a decade, it's been the meeting point for companies driving the region's most ambitious developments, bringing together more than 10,500 industry professionals. We're looking forward to meeting everybody at Breakbulk Middle East, taking place at the Dubai World Trade Center on the 4th and 5th of February 2026. Don't forget, you can register online for your free ticket to attend. Enjoy the podcast and see you soon in Dubai.
This episode is brought to you in partnership with Hareket, proud sponsors of Voices of Breakbulk Middle East. Hareket has been moving the world's heaviest and most complex cargo since 1957, with a reputation for tailor-made engineering solutions. Headquartered in Turkey, they operate across 3 continents, with offices in 28 countries and a team of more than 1,000 specialists. Their work spans engineered heavy lift, project transport, cranes and marine services, supporting oil and gas, petrochemicals, power, renewables, nuclear and infrastructure. Hareket is consistently ranked amongst the world's largest crane and heavy transport companies, with more than 1,000 major projects completed worldwide and strong regional partners like Abu Dhabi ports. Find out more via the link in the description below. And a huge thank you to Hareket for supporting project cargo professionals. And talk about the wider Middle East. You're here in Dubai. What's your setup like here in this part of the world?
Well, we have our regional office here in Dubai for a number of years. Here in Jebel Ali, we have our facility. We have our all equipments, maintenance based here, but we operate throughout the entire GCC countries, our services.
You have equipment based here?
Yes, we have equipment here in Qatar, in wherever the projects are, basically again. But the entire Middle East has become for Hareket, for us, a very key and strong focus area where we have invested quite significantly and continue to invest, and even enhancing our service portfolio, not only heavy lifting and engineering and heavy transportation, but also on the maritime with bringing in new barges to provide to our customers really more enhanced solutions that is required, because Middle East is definitely becoming in the project world a global global powerhouse.
Absolutely. Is there somewhere in the Middle East coming down the track that you think is going to be interesting for the next few years that maybe people aren't that switched on to yet?
Well, my personal view is Middle East in all the major aspects, be it on the oil and gas, be it on the entire energy related, hydrogen, renewable, all the energy related grid and so forth is definitely going to be a major player in the world, which some of the people when I talk to are a little bit underestimating. I think this part of the world is in the coming years going to be a hotspot, to be honest. A hotspot in terms of there's a lot of mega projects going to be here. The urbanization plays a key role. There's a lot of projects are coming up which will require, cranes, which will require heavy lifting transportation equipment. And the good part is it's all in all industries. So it really helps in the energy, in the oil and gas, in the renewable part. So it's a very attractive, and we as Hareket want to be a big part of it. Yeah?
And I would imagine in Syria there's a big opportunity for Hareket or for Turkey.
Well, absolutely.
Could be a big market, right?
Yes, absolutely. We are very closely following the developments. It is definitely a market where Hareket will play a major role in pretty much rebuilding the infrastructure, the energy, the power supply. There is going to be a lot of work required that the country has to rebuild pretty much. And of course, Turkish, our customers, EPCs and clients, manufacturers are definitely going to be a big part of this, where we as Hareket want to provide to our Turkish customers, but also to any international clients, the services, because it's in our backyard pretty much.
Politically, is it natural for Syria to look to Turkey for Turkish clients, Turkish construction companies?
Well, yes, absolutely, absolutely. It's also the port access from a corridor perspective. It makes absolutely sense that Turkey can be a major hub with the port proximities, the corridors that are going to help basically to build the infrastructure, to rebuild the ports, if you will. Absolutely. I mean, Turkey has, like I mentioned, a very advantaged location that is, supporting the growth and the rebuilding of all the power and the energy that the country needs.
And one recent development was the launch of HPL One. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, I've been asked quite a lot about this question. Well, HPL One is pretty much a global freight forwarding and project logistics company, which naturally came out of the necessity from our clients. Hareket has always focused on the heavy lifting and heavy transportation and the excellent engineering part. And a lot of clients have asked Hareket also to provide the global freight forwarding opportunities as well, which was always done in-house in a smaller team. But at one point, we made a decision within the board that we want to have Hareket focus on the core competencies within Hareket, which is the engineering, which is the heavy lifting, the heavy transportation. And why don't we create a separate, independent, global freight forwarding project logistics organization as HPL One, focusing on the basically forwarding project logistics activities that we can provide to every client, all services across all the project logistics requirements, not only the heavy lifting, but also can offer additional value add services. And at one point also opportunities to go beyond the Hareket equipment as well, because an asset company has an equipment as soon as the assets are fulfilled until the reinvestment, the investments are done and the supply are here. We don't want to lose the momentum to provide to the project world our services, also done from a logistical perspective.
It's a different business, right? Keeping the fleet operated and servicing a project.
Absolutely. It's a complete one. It's a full asset-based operation. And that's where we want to focus on. We want to strengthen our governance model. We want to strengthen our services. And at the same time, we want to focus on the international freight forwarding project logistics activities, which is completely separate, non-asset-based organization and really focusing on bringing all the parties together.
And we hear a lot about digitalization and AI, tech tools for project logistics. How much of a difference has that made to your business so far, and how far along are we on that journey?
Well, yeah, that's a topic that I'm very passionate about,
Okay.
which definitely is one part that in the board I'm a very vocal member. Hareket has done significant positive development when it comes to technology, when it comes to digitalization, including the road service. We have had awards within the industry as well. So there was in the past really well invested into the technology world, but the whole technology is going so fast. So we are definitely looking into even speeding up, bringing in more talents to make sure that we are ahead of the wave, if you will, with our solutions to provide with the asset utilization, road surveys, and then also very key to mention all the safety aspects. So the health and safety aspects that we are really improving, having the proper data to make sure that we are improving as we go in the coming years, basically.
And we've got Breakbulk Middle East coming up in the next few weeks, the 10th anniversary.
I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, me too. I know you guys have been involved in that event for a long time, other Breakbulk events as well. Tell us what you've got out of the event and why it's been so important for you to be part of it.
Well, first of all, this year's event, when I participated in February, I was positively surprised of the amount and the attention that this Breakbulk has. Looking at the Rotterdam or the European Breakbulk or the North American or the Asian, I could definitely see this year the higher importance of the Breakbulk Middle East. So it was a very positive surprise. I was very happy to see a lot of international global players really participating with many more team members from their organizations. And I think that the Middle East Breakbulk has a perfect opportunity. Which I like about these events is networking. It really about networking. It brings the EPCs, the heavy lift companies, the engineers, the shipping lines, any service provider in that spectrum together. And it's a great time, great days where we can network, exchange ideas, and build basically relationships stronger, which I'm a big believer of. People needs people, and we do business with people, and that's a great opportunity to meet, discuss, and then find jointly solutions how we can solve for all our clients' issues.
It was very well attended, wasn't it? I hadn't been for a few years, and like you, the last event, I thought, wow, really impressive.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
And when we meet again in 10 years' time for the 20th anniversary, what do you hope might have changed in the industry or in Hareket? What are the positive changes you're looking forward to in the coming decade?
So, first of all, I think that the Middle East region is going to be definitely a much stronger region when it comes to the project logistics or project world overall. I think there's a number of projects coming into this part of the world which will become a much more importance for a lot of organizations and companies. And we are very ambitious as an organization. We believe that Hareket will be definitely a leading organization in this part of the world, and not only here in the Middle East, but also in the Central Asia region. In Turkey, we will continue, but definitely Middle East and Africa region is going to be the biggest and highest growth area where Hareket will be definitely leading in a highest level possible.
And just before we go, tell us a bit about living in Dubai, how you found it, and what you like about living here.
Well, I love it. To be honest, I love the vision of this country. I love the vision of the rulers of this country. The innovation, the speed. It's definitely outstanding in every aspect. It's not only in the project world. In every aspect, I think this part of the world, and especially Dubai, is very, very smart in growing not only the country, but in all aspects, be it on the health, education, infrastructure, AI. So there's a lot of key components that the government and the city has very well invested and is going in a speed that I don't see any country, keeping up with. So I'm very happy to be here because it keeps me also on my toes.
Yeah. And I've seen some of your posts where you were urging people to look after themselves as well as look after the business, which takes us on to HYROX. So tell us a bit about that and why that was so important for you to be involved with.
Yes. So how much time do we have for?
You can tell us all about it.
So yeah, first of all, I have been in the last 5 years heavily focusing on health because in the business world, in the corporate world, the speed, the performance is getting faster and faster and faster. And I think personally, health is the foundation of everything. If you're not healthy, if you're not fit, if you're not sharp, you are not a good person around the people that you have, be it in your professional environment, be it in your personal environment. So health, energy, is absolutely essential. Without the health, you cannot literally do anything. And we all wish for so many things, but I think it always starts with the health. And that's why I'm a big advocate on having a healthy lifestyle, a healthier lifestyle, if you will. That also includes, from an emotional, from a physical, as well as the energy is super important. And with this whole thing, I was always exploring different sports, and I did sports all my life. And then when I was living in Hamburg for 8 years, I discovered HYROX, which Christian Tötzke and Moritz Fürste founded. And HYROX became pretty much my passion. The concept of it is absolutely perfect for a healthy lifestyle. You are running, so you do something for your VO2 max, what we call it. You are doing strength training, which with age, you need muscles, the best longevity tool that you have. And HYROX is combining this. And the big part of what really motivates me is the people connections, the people community that HYROX has created, that you can go to a gym, work out together, prepare for a race. It doesn't matter which fitness level you are, everybody can do it. So you're working out together, you're preparing for a race, you're going for the race. And
so you're starting people at all levels of fitness?
An all level of fitness.
Okay, so don't be put off then. It's not for the hardcore.
Absolutely not. I mean, sometimes on socials you see all these six packs and
we see
top
fit people
guys,
like you, yeah.
Yeah, but it's for everybody basically. Yeah. And also from a corporate or from a business perspective, I truly believe the team building event, when we talk about the well-being in organizations, that a lot of companies have invested on finding what type of well-being opportunities are out there. I mean, HYROX is the perfect sport, if you will, that helps companies to build stronger teams around, the people connections, the networking that can train, work out together, do business together, and then go to events together and have fun and enjoy themselves as well. And that's why I'm a big fan of HYROX. I'm supporting HYROX, and I'm trying to motivate everyone I can find to do sports and participate on HYROX. That's my mission.
So are you speaking from experience? Can we take it that you weren't always as healthy as you are now?
Well, not always, to be honest. I always tried. But
in this business, you travel a lot, you eat unhealthy, you eat on planes, you sleep on planes. It's not healthy.
Exactly. If you don't know, if you don't educate yourself how even in that high speed, travel, pressure, time, and also in the phases of your life, children, families, and so forth, moving around the globe, it's at the end of the day, I set one rule for myself that from the 24 hours a day, 1 hour just belongs for me and for my health. And I'm allocating disciplined and consistent 1 hour for my health. If it's a workout, if it's a run, or if it's just stretching, doing some mobility work in a hotel room, it really doesn't matter. But that 1 hour is super essential because I get off my remaining, if it's 16 or 14 hours a day, much more out than having, not worked out and having low energy. So I'm maximizing my hours that I'm awake to be very energetic and be very focused and sharp, that I can do the best I can do for my personal life and for my professional life. But that requires disciplined and staying consistent in that disciplined environment.
I think we all need that. So if anybody from Project Cargo wants to get involved in a run with you, Mustafa, they just have to search for HYROX.
Exactly. Search for HYROX, DM me, write me, I will support you, and definitely like to see at any HYROX event around the world, be it here in the Middle East, be it in Turkey, be it in Europe, Asia. We are now everywhere. So would love to see companies coming to HYROX and racing with us.
Mustafa, really interesting. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.